Hello, everyone, and welcome to Week 2 of the St. Louis VGC Draft League between JEB and Astro. I am Ben, commentating alongside.
What's up, guys? My name is Connor.
And we will be breaking down this match. Connor, are you into the room?
Yeah, I'm joining right now.
Excellent. So on JEB's side of the field, we see the Mega Raichu Y and the Mega Gyarados alongside some strong friends of Sylveon, Torkoal, Mamoswine, and then perhaps a less strong friend in Audino, but we will see if that proves not to be the case. And on Astro's side of the field, we see Mega Pyroar and Ninetales, the Sun combo, alongside Whimsicott, Leafeon, Swampert, and Scrafty.
You know, I think what's interesting in this matchup is like there's a very clear dynamic of wanting to be fast with Tailwind and then wanting to be slow with Trick Room on the other side. So definitely, as much as it is a weather war, it's definitely looking more of like a speed war in this matchup.
Yeah, definitely a speed war. I think the weather war will be a war of one weather, and that will be the sun. I think Astro's side of the field is definitely more equipped to deal with the sun better, with Chlorophyll on the Leafeon, and obviously Mega Pyroar's damaging attacks. But we'll see what the leads come out to be.
So on, I said I think we see Whimsicott, Swampert. And we see Raichu, Audino on the other side of the field. This actually looks pretty okay for honestly both sides, depending on what they want to do. You have a fake out Trick Room threat with Audino. If it knows Trick Room, obviously, I assume it's here for that reason.
I would think so.
As well as just like Earthquake or High Horsepower on a Swampert.
I think you have to respect Grass Knot coming from the Raichu.
That is completely true as well.
But, I mean, Swampert's not a main threat on this team, so perhaps the Raichu is not packing it.
That is completely fair as well. Let's kind of see what they're going to start out. It's interesting to note what this Whimsicott set will be. I assume it's running Sunny Day, but can Encore Pressure come out as well? It's kind of a packed moveset, so let's see what this first turn will entail. We're going to see the Mega on the Raichu.
No surprise there.
Very interesting with Gyarados in the back too, being also with the Mega. Maybe it didn't show up this match. Protect on Whims.
Okay, shows Protect early. Fake out goes into the right slot though.
Do we see the Trick Room? We see the Swampert Clinch, obviously, and the Trick Room does come out. Now, here's what's important to note, because if this Whims doesn't have Encore, this board state is very threatening, especially if Grass Knot is the thing that decides to come out. I assume it doesn't have Grass Knot, considering we saw the fake out first, but it could be something that still lies beneath.
Absolutely.
And this Whimsicott isn't really looking too good on this board state either. It's actually kind of really bad to have out right now, and you're going to want to need it for late game. Again, Encore Pressure is big if they have it, but I don't know if Astro does.
I think there's a question of what the Swampert will be able to do into the Raichu, assuming it's lower in the Trick Room.
Come out on Audino. There's a decent amount of Swampert.
It is stopping Tantrum, but not into the Raichu, into the Audino, and it does a massive amount of damage into the Audino.
You see Focus Blast coming out, so no Grass Knot. But that's a lot of damage onto that Swampert. This won't do enough. Now you kind of have to threaten, because Whimsicott's the slowest thing in the field. You're going to have to threaten a couple things.
I don't think Audino can pick up the Swampert at that range.
No, it cannot. It only did about 23%, so I do not know if it's going to.
It would need a single target attack.
Yeah. We are burning through Trick Room turns like this, though. Double Protect could come out and it could be very scary.
Yeah, how will JEB be able to get a Trick Room abuser onto the field before the Swampert can clear the board? I think Torkoal can't get in safely at all.
Yeah. And it's interesting to know what the last mod in the back is. It's actually coming in on the Audino slot. It's going to be Sylveon. There's the flip turn on Swampert.
Massive damage.
Jeez.
You wonder, it has to almost certainly be a max attack on that Swampert.
Maybe even Mystic Water, yeah.
Mystic Water or maybe Soft Sand for how much it did on that Audino. There's no life for it, but it's doing incredible amounts of damage.
Yeah, and it's something that I didn't really even, like looking at the teams, I didn't even know that it was going to be that big of a deal. And you also see Scrafty. Although,
not going to want to eat that Focus Blast.
Wow, and just a KO. That's really big coming out from JEB.
Absolutely. If not by the Focus Blast of Raichu, it certainly would have been felled by a Fairy-type attack from the Sylveon.
Moonblast does come out and does not kill the Raichu either. Oh my.
That could be a difficult survival for JEB to deal with here.
Because now even sacking the Audino, you can get Fake Out Pressure back online when Trick Room ends. Swampert is taking enough damage too, where you're even threatened by the Sylveon Hyper Voice just to KO both things on the field.
Nice Sylveon Hyper Voice. I mean, at this range, a Swampert may not even be living in Eruption, and certainly wouldn't live a Solar Beam from Torkoal either. Torkoal is not able to make it onto the field.
And you've got to think the last mon is Pyroar, right? Like, not bringing the only Mega you're bringing this match is a little bit difficult.
Yeah, I think the approach is definitely to stall out the Trick Room and get Pyroar into the endgame scenario where it needs to be.
And then we're going to see the Raichu switch probably back into Audino. Again, just in case. You also get the Fake Out back online with that. The Protect goes out on the Swampert, but there's no Protect from the Whims this turn either. Letting the Whims maybe get sacked here. We'll see here in a second. Oh, and it doesn't KO. This could be pretty good. Now we have Fake Out Pressure into the Swampert. Oh.
And Audino had Regenerator. And it was able to survive the Moonblast thanks to its Regenerator ability.
I didn't even see that.
Should have seen it sooner when that Audino came out, but now it's not a free switch into a Trick Room abuser like Torkoal.
And looking at it, there's still one turn Trick Room left, so this is still pretty dangerous. The Mon coming in is still going to take a lot of damage here. Interesting to note that Whimsicott could switch out and maybe have, you know, other things, but we've seen the Protect come out from Swampert, so now it's either sack the Swampert or go for the double Protect here.
Right.
And we're going to see maybe the Raichu come back out here. Very interesting play.
Get Fake Out Pressure for the next turn if you can.
Yeah, and we're seeing the Pyroar switch, like we said, but this should do a decent amount of damage. And with that being said, Sunny Day comes out, which means that Whimsicott is going to go down this turn. Really big damage into the Pyroar as well.
I have to be wondering whether or not a Tailwind would have been more advantageous.
Yeah, especially with the Audino being on kind of high health, like you have to kind of single target into it. There's still a lot of variance that can happen. Raichu's on 1 HP, a double protect could happen here.
It'll be a game
we
of
haven't
who
seen
to
this
target.
Pyroar moveset.
And we'll have to figure out what this Pyroar can do. I assume you have spread damage and Heat Wave that could clean up this battle if the Pyroar were to be...
We do know that Raichu is faster though, considering the Trick Room turns earlier in this game. Swampert went behind before the Raichu in Trick Room. Also interesting to note that Heat Wave is not a guaranteed hit, although if this Heat Wave does come out and do enough damage, it is very threatening. This is also a good play. Resetting more Fake Out Pressure later in the game if he's going for the right Fake Out. We do see the Mega, and he probably wants as much Heat Wave or Sun turns as possible.
Absolutely. Go straight for the Heat Wave, and that'll be a double KO.
Wow. Let's see what the Swampert went for here. We are going to see the Stomping Tantrum.
And it will fail.
Actually very big, because now it has double damage next turn.
Yeah.
Whatever comes out.
We'll have to see what partners this Raichu as it comes out back onto the field. It's going to be critical to the end of the battle.
Very bad for JEB.
How bulky is this Torkoal, and can it withstand a massive special attack from the Pyroar and a massive Stomping Tantrum from this Swampert?
We may see a double protect here, though, again, as Fake Out pressure is on the field for the last time this game.
I think there's no reason not to. I don't think either Raichu or Torkoal could punish that play.
Correct, unless this Raichu has Encore.
That's very true. We've only seen Fake Out and Focus Blast. We would assume Zap Cannon, but that fourth move...
Here comes the Protect on Pyroar. Do we see the Protect on Swampert as well, or do we just... Yep, we see both the Protects.
We'll see
This game becomes a lot harder now. Pyroar should be the fastest thing in the field, and Torkoal's definitely the slowest, so a double up into this slot, or, you know, a Heat Wave Stomping Tantrum should just win Astro the game, but let's
I mean, you don't... Unless Astro chooses not to risk a Heat Wave miss onto the Raichu,
Yeah.
that could be devastating.
Still interesting to note that, yeah, we get the Heat Wave.
And that's
That's
that
just
has
way
to do
too
it.
much damage.
A meaningless critical hit onto the Raichu, but I think the more important thing is seeing that Heat Wave do 60% to the Torkoal.
Stomping Tantrum definitely takes it out, and we are going into game 2 with Astro up 1-0.
It'll be interesting
Yeah.
to see how the trainers adjust. I think JEB was not able to take advantage of his Trick Room fully. I think Torkoal not being able to hit the field until after Trick Room had expired was incredibly detrimental to any strategy he might have been attempting.
Yeah, I also think it's hard because looking at this matchup, outside of Trick Room, he really has no answers to the fast Mons on the opposing side of the team, right? Astro just threatens so much because almost all of his Mons outspeed what JEB is throwing out. The only thing that could possibly outspeed is really Raichu. Everything else is pretty slow.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this Mamoswine could potentially make an impact, as it can threaten when it KOs on to the Pyroar. It can be immune to the Intimidate from Scrafty thanks to its Oblivious ability. Based on how that match went, I think Mamoswine would be in a good position. However, an adjustment to Leafeon
Yeah,
could pose a threat.
yeah, I think also, like, seeing game 1, like, Torkoal's here, but is Torkoal the best, like, after, you know what I mean? Like, if you can't get out Torkoal into the Trick Room mode, I think it's honestly more important, like, to see Mamoswine. I think the last game, if we saw Mamoswine, the game might have changed completely instead of Torkoal.
Completely.
Right?
Especially if
So
it were a Focus Sash set.
Correct. Or even Thick Fat on Mamo.
Yeah.
I don't know the calc, but I would assume that you survive Heat Wave with Thick Fat, so...
Yeah, I think Torkoal not giving Pyroar the Sun for free would be, you know, an advantageous position, especially if you're not getting anything out of Torkoal. Force that Whimsicott to click Sunny Day, force that Ninetales to come into the battle.
Although depending on the moveset of Torkoal, you might not mind taking some damage on switch-ins, so you could just switch it in earlier.
Yeah.
Because Torkoal also in this matchup could know Earth Power into the Pyroar.
Yeah, Earth Power into the Pyroar, could have Solar Beam into the Swampert. You see the Sun lead coming out.
We see the same lead come up. Seeing this though, it may actually be better for JEB to try to get Raichu down the first turn and try to take advantage of all Trick Room turns.
If it's packing Volt Switch, the pivot out could be great.
Yeah. I think the Fake Out may go into the Ninetales here, seeing that neither of these two in Trick Room can do a lot of damage. Although we do not know the speed tiers. Again, if this Ninetale is Scarfed, I think Raichu's still slower than both of them in Trick Room.
Yeah, especially if the Ninetales is Scarfed. I think it'll be interesting to see the speed order if it's not. It looks like the trainers are locking in their moves.
A switch out of Ninetales into Swampert.
Expecting the Trick Room.
And this will probably be a repeat of in game 1 on JEB's side of the field with Fake Out, Trick Room, coming in. Well, let's see here. As we do see another Mega Raichu Y, so we will probably not be seeing that Gyarados.
You have to think it might be useful in this matchup. That
Yeah.
Gyarados.
We do see that they go into the Pyroar, so actually very free turn to set up Trick Room. And now let's see what we can do, because Fake Out's threatening everything in the back besides the Whimsicott. But even then, it's still going to do enough to break Sash. We would, well, assumably the Sash on Whimsicott.
Now, it's interesting to see how Astro will play this. Last time he opted to select Something Tantrum into the Audino rather than the Raichu, expecting the Raichu to maybe protect or switch. But this time the Swampert will be, able to move, and will Astro switch it up, or will JEB be able to get an attack off with this Raichu?
And it's kind of interesting where the targeting is going to be, because the turn order, as we know from Game 1, is going to be Audino, Swampert, Raichu, Pyroar. We do see no Protect come out from either Mon. Probably Swampert opting to go for the Stomping into the Raichu, I would assume.
And there it is, yeah. That should be a one-hit KO. And it is.
Then whatever, this should be just a free, a free Heat Wave into the Audino. That should KO as well. Oh, very close to.
Picks up a
The
burn,
bird does.
which could
Bird's
prove.
very scary here.
So Torkoal would get a free switch if it is what is in the back. Audino will need to regenerate out some health if it can. But I don't think Torkoal wants to come out in front of these two. Yeah, it is Sylveon. And that Swampert is packing massive damage into that Sylveon, and chunking it would put JEB immensely on the back foot, running out
The
of
question
HP.
is, what is left in this Audino's kit? Because we've only seen Trickery and Dazzling from it. There's still two other moves we haven't seen. Maybe they could impact the match in a slightly different way than we think.
I think a helping hand could change
We have
the
not
game.
seen it though.
But yeah, the Audino seems to lack field presence, and I hope to be proved wrong. But it's just a
That's
Dazzling
another
Blade again.
Dazzling Beam. Doing no damage into anything here.
Hyper
We're
Beam,
gonna see
going
a
right
Hyper
for it.
Very interesting. I think if the Audino has Helping Hand, I actually think Hyper Boys could have picked it up. Crit, I do not think it mattered in this situation, but good to guarantee the kill. And we do see a Heat Wave miss on the Audino.
I think that's your preferred situation. I don't know if the Sylveon survives. Obviously, keeping Audino alive.
Honestly,
is
I
useful.
think this is worst case scenario for JEB. I think you want another Mon out. In the
Yeah,
last
you
two
want
turns.
if it's Torkoal, you've just dealt with Swampert, the biggest threat to the Torkoal.
But now you're seeing there's another free Heat Wave this turn because Sylveon has to regenerate. And we do see Leafeon.
And yeah, if JEB has Torkoal in the back, that is what you want to see. But the Torkoal
Sylveon
is not able to
will-
hit the field.
Unfortunately, Audino has nothing here to threaten. We will see both these Pokemon KO'd this turn, unless there's a Protect on Audino. But even then, you're getting burned, and you're down to one more turn after that.
Is it worth it for the Audino to try to regenerate HP? I think it's hard for us to know, because we've seen so little from this Audino.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this just board state, you can't really switch because you're just threatening so much damage, especially if it's Torkoal in the back.
Yeah, I think if you're
But
Astro, you
even-
just want turns to tick out. Let Trick 'em turn stall out.
I mean, we're gonna see Dazzling, and we're probably gonna see both of these Pokemon get KO'd here. And we do see that both Pokemon get KO'd here. Interesting to see what the Leafeon will go for. Not that it matters. It'll probably be a Solar Blade, but it is a Solar Blade. Assumably into the Audino slot. And if it is the Torkoal, it is the Mamoswine.
It is the Mamoswine. And that is... It's going to be interesting. I think if you're Sash, you have to figure out which Pokemon you want to deal with, whether that's the Pyroar or the Leafeon. If you don't have a Focus Sash, I fear the writing's on the wall.
And with there only being one turn of Trick Room, if there's enough Protect here, this game does end next turn. we do see a double protect here. It does lead the way for Ninetales to just come back out and rip a fire move into the Pyroar, even losing both. Chlorophyll will be back up. We do have one more turn of Sun, so,
Yep.
or 3 more turns
The
of Sun.
Ninetales
It
has shown
actually
Heat Rock.
is Heat Rock.
Yeah.
Yes. So no Scarf. We see the Ice Shard in a Leafeon, but
Even a crit would not have picked it up.
that is very negligible damage. I did not expect that. We do see the Solar Blade come out. Slam into the Mamo here. Leaving it on his Focus Sash. We do see that item come out. We assume it's Oblivious Focus Sash. But yeah, we do see the Pyroar go next, and he's overheat. Does have a chance to miss, but do not see him miss. And yeah, Astro with a quick 2-0 into JEB.
Yeah, Jeb just could not deal with the fiery presence of the Mega Pyroar. I think it's interesting to have not seen Gyarados in that match. I think an unmega evolved Gyarados even still has value as far as resisting any fighting type attacks from a Scrafty, neutral damage from a grass move from Leafeon, immune to ground type attacks from Swampert. But we don't see it, and the Pyro just too hot.
Yep, too hot to handle. And that will be the end of JEB versus Astro. Astro taking the set 2-0 in clean fashion, and yeah.
Both trainers move to 1-1 records, and we will follow their developments into the further weeks of this league. Thanks for joining me on this commentary, Connor, and thanks to both trainers for providing a fiery battle. Signing off.
See you next week.